So I decided to visit the Sea City Museum for my solo artist date, as they had a small Jane Austen exhibition on at the time, and I love anything Jane Austen, and a museum is a perfect solo date activity in my opinion. So the Jane Austen part was really quite small, so it didn't take me very long to have a look at everything, but it was also nice to visit a local museum because I hardly ever visit the ones that are that close to home. I've been here once before when it first opened, which must be at least 10 years ago, but I pretty much had no memory of it. So it was good. It was like seeing everything with fresh eyes. I had a wander around the Southampton Stories exhibit first, before heading up to the Titanic part of the museum. It's interesting seeing the history of like where you live, where you come from. Like, at least I always find it super interesting, like knowing all the people that used to live here or like what places used to look like. Like I love it when you see a photo of an area that you know now, but from like 100 years ago, and you're like, I can't believe that used to be there, or I can't believe that thing or that building is still here, and that's what it looked like 100 years ago. So 100% transparency here. This ended up not being a solo activity because I ended up meeting up with one of my friends and her 2 children, which was nice because they were really into the Titanic part, and it's nice to see the sort of joy and exuberance from kids, like seeing an exhibit like that as well. So that was fun. So I went twice around the Titanic exhibition, first time with my friend and her kids, and then the second time, once they had left, I decided to go for a sort of slower walk around and actually read things properly. And it was a really interesting exhibit they had there, and it's nice to have something in the city to do with it as well, seeing as like the Titanic left from Southampton. It's like probably one of the most famous things connected to the city. I found it quite emotional as well when you see all the crew in particular who came from Southampton and how many of them didn't survive. And there was a section where they had a map of the city and it had red dots on it to show the households where they had lost someone. So I'm just having a break from editing this video that you're watching now. Since going to the Sea City Museum, I've fallen into like a bit of a Titanic rabbit hole. I've watched a series called The Titanic Sinks Tonight, which was on BBC recently, and that's a dramatised sort of reenactment with talking heads, actors pretending to be the people on the boat, telling their stories. So that got me thinking that I'd like to create a piece of work to do with the Titanic. So I come from Southampton, and the Titanic left from here as well. So I've got kind of like a connection to that story anyway. It was something like I was quite obsessed with as a child as well. I think quite a lot of kids go through that. Like the Titanic's obviously a really famous disaster, so I'm really into my history as well, and I want to create some more sort of like historical pieces, like zines, which I'm really into making at the moment, and I do like markets and sell my work online as well. So I want to create some more historical pieces and pieces linked to the area that I'm from as well. Yeah, so it's kind of twofold. It's creating something from a story that I'm interested in anyway, and I want to get some more practice at creating historical related illustrations or comics, and also having extra products for when I do any future markets. So yes, that is what I'm doing now. I'm in like 2 minds of what I'm going to create. So I've got 2 ideas basically. So the first one is if I do it around a particular survivor called Violet Jessup, who she's like one of the most famous survivors from the Titanic. So she survived 3 incidents on these ships. So I'm pretty sure only 2 of them were sinking. So the Titanic, I think, was her first one. And then the sister ship Britannic, which sunk a couple of years later. I think that had something to do with World War One. I need to check my facts because I heard about her a few years ago and the facts are really murky in my head. And I think the third one wasn't an actual sinking. I think the ship she was on got hit by a smaller ship and got damaged or something. But I always thought her story was really interesting, and I find stories about people in history who aren't necessarily like, you know, the big people like kings and queens, famous writers, painters, whatever, like the sort of every man or every woman. So I thought that might be a good one to do. And then my other idea was, do I do something more focused on someone from Southampton or like a more local story? Because I'm pretty sure Violet Jessup wasn't from Southampton, but a lot of the crew were. So the city lost a lot of people on that boat. So when I visited the museum, I think I took some footage of it. In one of the rooms there's like a map of the town, and on it there's all red dots of the households that lost someone, so you can really get an impression of how many people were infected, how many people were affected just in this one area. Yes, I'm not sure. I'm leaning more towards the Violet Jessup idea, just because I've just got more, it feels more thought out. I've got more ideas in my head for that, and it's just, I think when you've got one person to focus on, it's a bit easier. Maybe I'll do both eventually, but yeah, I think it will probably be Violet Jessup. That's the one I'm drawn to the most. So I'm just gonna have a little brainstorm, do some doodles for a little while before I get back to editing this. But yeah, keep an eye out on my Instagram. I'll share the link here, because that's where I share any work that I'm doing, and I'll share anything that I end up doing with this idea on there as well, so you can have a look if you're interested. Okay, I'm gonna get back to it.